Okay, this video today is a follow-up from the bag class, the crochet bag class, where we had the 3 different patterns to make the 3 different granny square bags. I'm going to show you as a reminder how to do the special stitch in the middle of this bag, which is the single granny square bag that then becomes a little bucket bag or pouch bag. So I'm going to show you how to do that stitch again. So I will start with that. On this round, on this bag I've already made, let me zoom in. I've already made a few rounds with that stitch in it. You can see it's here where I'm doing that double crochet 3 together, and you'll notice that they're always on top of each other. This was my first round of them here, and then I come up. So I've done at the moment, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be my 6th round. So I'm going to show you how to work that again as a reminder. So I've just done my corner. I've done my first cluster for the side. I've got another 1, 2, 3 clusters to go. So I'm just doing the double crochets into here of a granny square cluster. So just your normal 3 double crochet into that spot. So it's, as a reminder, it's yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop with 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's your US double crochet. I'm going to do another cluster of those. Just let me pull my yarn out a bit, sorry. It's gone a bit tight. Now I've got 1 more to do. Oops, pull that through. 1 more to do before I do my double crochet 3 together stitch. So here I'm up to my double crochet 3 together, you can see. So I'm going to work my first one here, just in here, just under there. My next one in the top of that stitch, which is the top of the stitch that is made from the double crochet 3 together row below, and then my next one under here. So this is my first one. So I yarn over, I go into this gap, I yarn over and pull up a loop with 3 loops on my hook. I yarn over and just pull through the first 2, and then I do my next stitch. So I yarn over, I go into the next space, which is here, yarn over and pull up a loop, and I yarn over and go through the first 2 loops only, and then I do that 1 more time just into here. So I yarn over, go into this space, and I'm going into the gap, I'm not going into the stitch. So I'm going under there and I'm pulling up a loop, and then I'm yarning over and pulling through 2 only again. And you'll see, just let me spread them out, you'll see I've got 1, 2 and 3 double crochets, but they're not completed, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 loops on my hook. Now I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops, and that completes the double crochet 3 together. So that's your double crochet, and that's making it together. So I'm combining the 3 stitches into 1, and then I'm going to keep working up to my corner with my normal double crochet clusters, and I'll show you a reminder on the corner as well, and then I will come back when it's time to make the handles and I'll do a final round and then make the handles. So I've got 2 more clusters to go. Now I'm quickly going to stop and just weave this little tail in here so I can crochet over it as I go. I'll show you how I do that. I'm going to just do that with my hook. So I'm going to take my hook out of there. I'm just going to put it in here like that, and I'm going to pull that through there, pull that stitch through, the tail of the yarn through. I'm going to pull that one back out so I can go over it decently. I'm going to pop my hook in here, weave that back that way. Sorry, I didn't grab that properly. Pop it in there and weave it through there. And then I'm going to pop it into here and pull it through this way. This is just, instead of sewing the ends in, I can do it a little bit quicker with my crochet hook. So I'm going to do it that way. Pull that through, and then I'm going to go back to here, and I'm just weaving it backwards and forwards just in the top of each stitch, and then I can crochet over the top of that as well as I go, which will make it more secure again. And I like to go one way with my ends and then back the other way. I'm going to get right into there, into that corner chain one, and pull it through, loosen it up as I go. And then I'll probably just go back into there. There's no right or wrong way to do this. This is just the way that I like to do it as I get to a tail. I try to do it as I go because weaving my ends in, if you know me, is my least favorite thing to do. Just split that yarn a tiny bit there, so I'm just going to see if I can just pull that through there. Yep. And now I'm going to do my last cluster and my corner. So go into there, and then I'm crocheting over the top of the tail here that I weaved in. So it just gives it that little bit more security of the end being weaved in. It's a little bit bulky under there, but when you adjust it, you can't see. And now I'm just going to give you a quick refresher on the corner. So it's 3 double crochet. Sorry, I've got to loosen my yarn up again. I should have got my little spinny thing. I forgot. I left it in the other room. So it's your corner is double crochet cluster. So 3 double crochet, chain 1, and then 3 double crochet all into the same spot to make the corner. And then you just keep going around and doing that double crochet 3 together on each side. So I will come down here, normal clusters. Once I get to here, I'll do my double crochet 3 together and keep going to my next corner. Now I'm just going to show you one more time how to do that double crochet 3 together. So yarn over, insert your hook into the first place, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, and yarn over, just pull through the first 2, and then yarn over into the last space and pull up a loop, yarn over and just pull through the first 2. So again, you can see the 3 parts of the double crochets on the bottom and the 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through all 4. And now I'm just going to work up to this corner and show you how to continue on staying in the corner, just as a refresher as well. Once I get up to here, oops, I'll do my clusters, and then I will show you how to slip stitch close this round and slip stitch to the next corner. So just as a reminder, we make the granny square as big as we want for the base of the bag, and then we do the sides however many rows you want your bag to be tall is how many rows you do, so it's very customizable. I will flip this over in a minute and show you my bag. I'm going to do one more round in this color, and then I'm going to swap to the green, and I'm going to do my last 2 rows, and so my last row and my handles in this green, and I'm going to show you how to do that as well in a minute. So now I'm here. I'm going to slip stitch to close this round. So here's my starting chain for this round. So 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to put my hook I hope you can see that well. And I put my hook into this third chain. I'm not going to yarn over, just going to put my hook into the middle of that chain like that. And then I'm going to yarn over and pull it through everything on my hook. So through there and through there. And that round is now closed off. And now I'm going to do one more round. So I need to be in this corner and I'm here. So I'm going to show you how to slip stitch across again. One more time. So I'm here. I've got a double crochet here to slip stitch into the top of. So I just put my hook into, if you look at these little V's here, these are the stitches. I want to put my hook into that first one. So under both the loops. And I'm going to yarn over and pull that through both loops on my hook. And then I've got one more little V here, which is the top of the double crochet. I'm going to put my hook into there, yarn over and pull a loop through. And now I've got one more slip stitch to do to be in the corner. So just putting my hook into that chain one space and pulling a loop up and pulling it through. And then I'm going to chain 3 to start my round, which counts as my double crochet, my first double crochet. Then I'm going to do 2 more double crochet. So this is my first cluster of double crochets, and then I chain 1 and then I do 3 more double crochet. And then I'm going to do another round in this color all the way around, and then I'll come back and show you how to do the border with the green and the handles. Alright, I'm going to show you how to put the last do the last edge round and the handle now. So what I'm going to do is do that in the green. So I finished the brown rounds. Just got to find the end of my yarn. It's always in a knot. And I'm going to make a slip knot. I'm going to start in any corner. This one here is going to be my starting corner. And make my slip knot. I'm going to put my hook through there and attach my new color just loosely. Like, let me zoom in. So I've got my hook in my corner. I'm just through there like that. And then I put the slip knot on and see how it's loose on there. It's not tight. Got a little gap and I'm going to pull that just through there like that. So my knot is at the back and my hook is at the front with the slip knot, and I'm just going to chain 1, 2, 3. That attaches my yarn and is my first double crochet. That's not a double crochet, but is a double crochet. I do my corner as per normal. So I'm going to do a cluster, a chain 1 and a cluster. Oops. And then I'm going to do double crochet in each stitch all the way around, just because I want a straight edge border. I don't want clusters anymore. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to skip that first one. You can do it if you want. It's called normally hidden a bit under here, and because my yarn's a bit thicker, I'm just going to go and ignore that because it's covered anyway. So I'm going to do double crochets in each of these V's all the way around the bag. So I'll show you how I'm doing it. So just standard US double crochets, and I'm going under both of those loops of the V. So I'll show you from the front. So I yarn over, here's my double crochet here, and here's the stitch, the V, here's the post, here's the stitch here, and I'm going underneath both of those, yarn over and pull up a loop, and I'm just going to do that all the way around. I don't have any chain spaces in my side panels, so I'm just going to do a double crochet. You could do half double, you could do single, you could just do a row slip stitch, whatever you like the look of. It's the whole point of these bags are they're customizable to the way that you want them to look. And none of them will look the same because everybody's putting their individual touch and flair into their bag. And that's the whole point. So I'm doing this. You can see what I've got now. I'll put it down on my table so you can see. It's just giving a nice straight edge all around. I'll keep going till I get to the double crochet 3 together, which is coming up. And I'm just going into there, into that stitch, like so, and then into my next one. So I'm not doing a double crochet 3 together on this final round because I don't need to. I'm just putting a little border on it. You can see how that's looking now. I'll show you up to this next corner and do the next corner, and then I'll come back when I'm ready to do the handles and show you how to do that. You just got to make sure, oh, sorry, you just got to make sure you go under both of those loops on the double crochets from the row below. If you only go under one like that, that is the front loop, or if you only went into that one, which is the back loop, it's a different look of a stitch. It's called a front loop double crochet or a back loop double crochet, and what it does is puts a little line in your work, either at the front or the back, depending on which post you go for. I mean, you could do that by all means if you like the look of it would put a little ridge around here, and it wouldn't be a bad thing. It would be a feature if that's what you like. You would just do that and go into the stitch like that. But this is the way that I'm choosing to do mine. And I'm nearly at that next quarter. So I go all the way up to the corner. That's my last double crochet before the chain 1 space. So in here, in my chain 1 space, I'm going to do a cluster. So 3 double crochet, chain 1, and 3 double crochet. And that just keeps your corner. Gives it, the point goes round, keeps your stitch count even, and you can see I'm going around the corner, and I'll keep going back down this side. I'll come back once I finish this and show you how to do the handles. Okay, I finished that final round on my bag at the top. Now I just want to show you, this is obviously the inside of my bag. You can see the square is in there, and these are the sides. So if you look at it from the bottom, you can see my square, the size that I wanted the base of my bag to be, which I did, how many rounds did I do? I can tell you, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds of a granny square with 1 chain in the corners only, and then I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows for the side, and that was just my personal choice. If I wanted to line it, which I recommend you do, I've got some funky little gnome fabric here, I would literally just be turning that over, and then in a little running stitch I would sew it along there like that, and then make a little, I don't even know how you would do it, make a little cut there to sort of bring that in, or a pleat maybe would be a better word than a cut. You don't want to cut it, and then run it back up along like here. Obviously this fabric's a bit too big at the moment. It was just a square that I found in the sewing cabinet in the room, but yeah, you would just want to line it with any fabric of your choice, just to stop your bag from stretching. Now I'm going to show you how to do the handles. Now I'm going to do mine in green, So I've cut my yarn off. You can slip stitch to the corner and start again, but I just cut mine off because I wasn't really thinking, to be honest. So I'm going to make a slip knot and I'm going to reattach this. Now my handles are going to go from this corner to this corner and then this corner to this corner. And I'm going to make the straps on this long enough to sort of be like an over-the-shoulder bag. Oh, sorry, my dog just walked into the tripod. Now I'm going to, again, I'm going to put my hook into the corner and I'm going to attach my yarn, just pulling it through like that. So my knot is at the back. It's a bit hard to see with the green on green, but the knot is at the back of my working loops at the front, and I'm going to chain. Now I'm going to chain as long as I want my handle, so that's 1. I'm counting, sorry. Do 43. Okay, that's 50 chains. I'm just going to have a quick look and see. I think I want that a little bit bigger, so I'm going to do another 20 and see how that looks. Okay, that's 70 all up that I've just chained, and I think that's long enough for what I'm aiming for. So I'm now going to go into this corner here, and I'm just going to slip stitch into this corner. Let me zoom in. So I'm attached over here on this side with my chain, and then my chain is going like this. I'm going to slip stitch. Sorry, my dog is crying to get on the lounge. I've got my chain on my hook, and I'm going to put my hook into that corner, and I'm just going to slip stitch that closed like that. Make sure that's nice and tight. Now I'm going to turn my bag around so I can work back this way, and I'm going to work half double crochets into the chain. So you can do any stitch you want. Hang on 2 seconds. Accidentally stopped the video instead of pausing it and continuing. All right, so I'm here. Now I've just twisted, I've got to get my yarn around the other side. So I'm gonna lift that up and over. Now I'm going to work a half double crochet. Hang on, I need to put it through the loop. Silly. I'm gonna work a half double crochet into each of these chains. So a half double crochet is yarn over, insert your hook into that first one, yarn over and pull up a loop with 3 loops on my hook. I yarn over and pull through all 3 in one go. So I'm just doing that all the way along. So I will have 70 half double crochets. So I'm going into the chain. So I've yarned over into the chain. Oh my goodness, I've made my chain a bit too tight. And then 3 loops on my hook, I yarn over and pull through all 3. So I'm going to do that all the way over to the next corner, and I'll show you once I've finished that. Just a quick progress report. I'm about a third of the, maybe halfway through my handle, my first handle, and I have decided that I'm actually going to do 2 rows of the half double crochet to make the handle a bit thicker and a bit sturdier. So when I get down to this corner here, I'll show you how to attach it and turn and go back the other way if you wish to do 2 rows of half double crochet to make your strap a little bit thicker. You can do single crochet if you want your strap a bit more sturdier. It won't have much stretch in it then. I tend to get a bit of my yarn and weave it in and out through the strap once I'm done, like one out, one in, like in, out, in, out, in, out. I don't know if that makes sense, but I can show you just so the handle doesn't stretch much. Some people line their strap. I could not be bothered and don't really have the sewing skills to make that look good. The inside of the bag I definitely recommend you line, because the bag will start to stretch over time, and if you line it, then the lining takes the weight of whatever you put in the bag, not the actual crochet stitches and yarn. So your stitches won't stretch and your bag won't go out of shape. Just helps with longevity and makes your bag a bit nicer quality, because you don't want to spend all your time and energy making a bag to only use it a couple of times because it's stretched out of shape with putting weighty items in your bag. And I don't know if you're like me, but the bigger the bag, the more stuff I jam in there. So if my bag's big, I'm going to put lots of stuff in there and it'll probably be overfilled and stretched out. All right, I'll come back when I'm up to here. Okay, so I'll just zoom in a bit so you can see what I'm doing. I've got 3 chains left to work, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the corner and show you how to go back down the row to make your handle wider. So that's 2, and here's my last one. And then, oops, pull that tight. I'm going to slip stitch into there. Pull that nice and tight. I want that tight. I will sew those ends in, weave them in, and make sure they're nice and secure as well. And now I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work, and I'm going to work, sorry, it's all a bit tangled, another row of, can you see that? Yes, another row of half double crochets, so they're going to go in the top of these ones. So I'm going to work a half double crochet in each stitch all the way down. Again, where's my working yarn? There. So yarn over into that very first one. It's a little bit tight. I'll show you a bit clearer on the second one. And so yarn over, can you see that little V there? Just here is the V, but I've yarned over, I'm going to go under both loops of that V. And that's working my half double crochet all the way back down. When I have finished this row, I'll just show you quickly. See this here? I will get this little thread, and actually I can do it now. Let me make sure I'm on camera. That would be silly if I wasn't. Just going to put my hook into that very first one I made and pull that tail through there like that. Just want to secure that end in a bit really well, because it's the handle. So I've just popped that through there, and I'll weave that end backwards and forwards a couple of times to make sure it's really secure, that strap, which it is, but if I'm going to put weight in this bag, I want it to be very secure. So what I would do is continue all the way down to here and then slip stitch it and sew the ends in, and do the other handle exactly the same, making sure my chain, I'll zoom back out, making sure my chain for this handle is exactly the same length and width as this handle chain. And then that would be that bag complete. Now, just to quickly show you the other styles from the class that we were doing on the weekend. This one is for the tote bag. That's the right side of the square. If to join these together, I want to put them wrong sides together. So I can tell this is the wrong side by looking at the stitches. If we zoom in again, looking at these stitches, see they're a little bit wigglier sort of here. This is the correct side. It's a bit flatter on the front of your stitches. They just sit flatter. This is the wrong side, and I can also tell it's the wrong side because my tails are on this side, so because I haven't weaved them all in yet. And this is the wrong side of the second square, so I'm going to back to back them, and I will zoom back out. So they're back to back. This is the correct side, facing up. And then all you would simply do is join around here and leaving this top bit open so you can put stuff in your bag. Now with this, you can do your handle from corner to corner, like from this corner to this corner, and just have a shoulder strap, or you can do two little handles, one on this side, one on that side. And again, the same principle as the bucket bag. You would chain however you would, well, first of all, you would locate the middle of your bag by simply folding it in half and going, okay, so here's my center stitch, and then maybe I would go 5 on either side and mark it with a stitch marker, and then I would chain here as many as I want and come back to here, slip stitch it, and then crochet across the chain and make 2 of those exactly the same. So your handles are the same. Now, alternatively, we did talk about this at Sunday's class. You can buy handles similar to this. This is just one that I picked up from the sewing basket, which is the second-hand place. We were talking about it at Sunday's class. It didn't come up on Saturday, but at Sunday's class. Now, you can also order bag handles. You could get an old handbag that you don't really use and maybe cut the strap off it and then attach it to one of your bags. You could go to like an op shop or something and find a cheap old bag there that the handle is still in good condition and repurpose it for this reason as well. What you could do with something like this is, this square's too big, but if you were making a bit smaller of a bag that is a square, you could attach this on the sides as the bag strap, and then you've got a handle that, you know, goes quite nicely with your bag that you don't have to crochet. And this one is very solid. And yeah, I liked it. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but I'll use it one day. But you can buy all sorts of handles like this. Now, to show you quickly the 5 square granny bag, which we didn't get to on the weekend much. Now, I've got 5 squares. They're all just from my samples, so please ignore the horrible colors that don't go together. But I'm just going to show you how to lay that bag out. And also, you want these squares to be all 5 the same size. So I'm going to lay it out. This one's going to be my center square, and I'm putting the wrong side up on these squares just to show you how you would sew it together. Now, they're also all different types of yarn. So, oh, and I haven't sewn any ends in on that one. Ignore that. They're all different types of yarn, so they're not exactly the correct size. But to join these to make it into a bucket bag, what I would do is at the corners, so you would line these 2 up, this one being your center square, and you would crochet down here, and then those 2 would be joined like that. And then I would line these 2 up and single crochet or slip stitch, or darning needle and yarn, whatever you can do faster, however you prefer, along there. And then I would slip stitch along here to join these two squares, and then similarly slip stitch along here to join these two. And then once you've done that, you would stand your bag up, and you would then need to slip stitch down the side seam here, and then your bag is going to be sitting. It's very hard to show you. I don't know if that's coming across very clearly, but that's the layout for your 5 squares. And you would just go all around, join them into this middle one, and then side seam up each of those. And then again, it's up to you how you do your handle, whether you do one long handle that would go diagonally across the bag, or you would do 2 little handles like one on either side. However you do them, you do it exactly how I showed you on this bag. As in, you locate the middle of your bag, go equal either side, and chain up however long you want your handle, attach it, do a half double crochet, single crochet, whatever you want to go back into here. And as long as you do the handle the same on that side and this side, it's going to work out. And yeah, alternatively, you could do 2 small handles and then do 1 longer. So like you could put, imagining this is the side of the bag, you could do little handles here and then 1 big one that would go across the square diagonally like that, or you could do 1 side to side long ways that way. It's really about what you're looking for and what you want your purpose of your bag to be, how you're going to use the bag. The square bag would be very good as a big sort of carry bag for like the beach, or even an overnight bag if you don't mind that it's not closing. And again, I would line the bag. I would line any bag that I make. I tend to line it, or I get my daughter to line it. I'm not very good at lining bags. I will find one and see if I can show you how I've lined it. Let me just grab a bag. Okay, here's a bag that I just found that I have crocheted. It's a different bag totally to the ones we worked out on the weekend. Oops, don't look at that. There's a thread coming out there. But if you can see, my sewing skills are very minimal and far from desirable, but I've got this old bit, as you can see there, not very not winning any awards at the show for this bag lining, that's for sure. But I have literally I actually did this on the sewing machine. My stitches are nowhere near that neat, but I've gone around and it's just a simple lining. It's just fabric, nothing fancy, but it's lined on the inside of the bag. So when you put stuff in the bag, it does not stretch. And yeah, you can see I've put the pattern on the inside so you can see the pattern, and it's just from the outside, because this bag is quite open stitched, it's a double V stitch pattern. You can see the white through it. You could probably put nicer fabric and do it on the other way so you can see it inside the bag and outside through there. But as I said, my skills for sewing are limited, so this is just how I've done the lining. And you can see that the lining and the bag are separate. When I put something in this, the lining takes all the weight of whatever is in the bag. Yeah, and then yeah, that's how you would put a lining in the bag and sew it in. You could hand sew it as well. You don't need a sewing machine. And you would just hand sew it, just holding it like that, and hand sew it with a running stitch. It's totally fine.